News at 6. I'm Michael Sandlin. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Well, man, today was a little nicer than yesterday, huh? A little less chilly, a nice bit of sunshine out there, but is it going to stick around into the work week? Meteorologist John Birchfield has the answer.
Hey, Mike, we're tracking warm and windy weather to start off the work week. In fact, Monday, it's going to feel more like a spring day than November. High temperatures are going to surge up into the 70s, but with the warmth is going to come a strong and gusty wind. Winds may gust to 30 miles an hour, and it's going to be blustery for Election Day as well. Sunset time now at 5:25. Now that standard time has started, and here's a live look high atop downtown. It'll take some getting used to with the time change, although hopefully you capture that extra hour of sleep. Doppler radar right now shows you a few sprinkles west and north of Toledo, mainly areas like Hillsdale and Williams counties, but I'm not expecting any widespread rainfall. So where is this coming from? There is a warm front lifting in from the south, and that warm front is responsible for the spring-like warm-up to kick off the week. Here's a snapshot of those Monday afternoon highs. Near 70 in the metro, low to mid 70s south of the river, and upper 60s expected in southern Michigan, where it'll be just a touch cooler. The warm and windy weather continues for Election Day. As you're heading to the polls, it is going to be blustery and warm with temps in the mid 70s. Calmer and sunnier weather returns Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to be breaking down the chance also for some showers Tuesday night. That'll be coming up in my full forecast. Michael?
All right, John, we'll see you then. Toledo police are investigating after a woman was shot on Oakland Street in North Toledo. This happened around 1:45 yesterday afternoon. The condition, age, and identity of the woman are all unknown at this time. TPD told us on the scene they do not have anyone in custody. We'll continue to keep you updated on air and online as we continue to learn more. Vice President Kamala Harris is focusing on the battleground state of Michigan today, with just over a day to go before Election Day. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports from Macon, Georgia, where former President Donald Trump is speaking tonight.
In the closing hours of campaign 2024, Vice President Kamala Harris spoke at a church in Detroit Sunday.
These days will demand everything we've got, but when I think about the days ahead and the God we serve, we were born for such a time as this.
Later, the vice president addresses supporters in East Lansing, Michigan. Former President Donald Trump rallied in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. There, he stoked controversy as he talked about the ballistic glass protecting him at the venue.
To get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news, and I don't mind that so much.
In a statement, a campaign spokesperson said, quote, "The president's statement about protective glass placement has nothing to do with the media being harmed or anything else." The former president railed against early and mail-in voting while claiming election fraud was already underway.
We should have one-day voting and paper ballots.
This evening, Trump speaks in Macon, Georgia.
Following this Georgia rally, the former president will focus on North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan tomorrow.
Keep Kamala and carry on, Allah.
And millions watched Vice President Kamala Harris in last night's opening segment on Saturday Night Live. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Macon, Georgia.
Early voting ended today for Ohio voters across the state, with thousands rushing to the polls before the 5 p.m. deadline, and many had to wait hours before getting to cast their ballot. Laura Sandlin now joins us live from the Lucas County Board of Elections. Laura, what did these voters say is their reason for coming in early?
Well, Michael, I spoke with a handful of voters here at the Lucas County Board of Elections who tell me that they decided to vote early for a variety of reasons. Now, whether that was avoiding long lines or saying that they wanted their vote to be taken seriously, those I spoke with today told me that they preferred early voting versus the day of. Today, the Lucas County Board of Elections opened their doors from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., with some waiting in line for nearly 3 hours before being able to enter the building. Despite the lines, many people were in good spirits and excited to cast their ballot. One early voter I spoke with tells me she believes voting is a group effort and that everyone has the same goal for a bright future.
We can't just let people come in and take over. We have to get out here and we have to fight for one another. We have to love on one another. We have to show each other that we can do this as a team, not as an individual, as a whole.
Those from the Lucas County Board of Elections tells me that this will not be acting as a polling location the day of, and early voting does not continue into Monday tomorrow. For a full list of polling locations and where you can find your nearest polling location, you can visit the WTOL.com website. Reporting in West Toledo, Laura Sandlin, WTOL.com.
All right, Laura, thanks. Now, early voting might be over, but absentee voting is still going on right now. This is the drop box at the Lucas County Board of Elections over on West Sylvania Avenue. Election officials say the box is safe and it's monitored 24 hours a day. It's where voters can turn in their completed absentee ballots up until the polls close on Election Day. Gibsonburg schools hope voters say yes to a levy renewal and increase on Tuesday. District officials say inflation has made things they need too expensive. They say a new bus is $130,000, and right now the levy collects only $65,000 per year. Plus, they say there are other improvements that need to be made throughout the district. The current $1 mil permanent improvement levy expires in December. If passed, it would cost owners of a $100,000 home $46 a year. And the superintendent says the passage would give the district about $219,000 a year.
We know that this is a sacrifice to our families, and so we are pledging to provide a plan for what repairs and upgrades would be made with those funds in the coming years.
The district says this proposed levy is on a continuing basis and will not need to be renewed again. After getting turned down by voters last year, Riverdale local schools are returning to the ballot this year. Riverdale's levy went down by the slimmest of margins last election, with only 6 votes separating the yeses from the nos. The biggest changes from last year's levy are that this year's is only a 5-year ask compared to the previous continuous levy. Plus, the new request is only 1.9 mils as opposed to 2. These are among the reasons Riverdale's superintendent says the district thinks they will cross the finish line this year.
We made some changes after talking to community members in our district, and we've been on the ballot quite a bit of late as a school district. We've made some changes. This is not a continuous tax. This is a 5-year tax. It is needed, and our community has the information. I'm just asking everybody to go out and vote.
The superintendent says the levy would generate more than $360,000 a year for the district. When we vote, who we vote for is private in the state of Ohio. But whether you voted, well, that's public information. Megan Hartnett takes a look at a political flyer in mailboxes across the region claiming to know just that, your voting habits.
In the weeks leading up to Election Day, your mailbox may be filling up with flyers for different candidates. But some people are getting a report on their voting track record. Others are even getting letters on whether or not their neighbors are active voters. Different organizations, including the Center for Voter Information, the Voter Participation Center, and the Ohio Democratic Party, are sending out flyers showing whether or not people voted in the 2020, 2021, and 2022 elections. The report card says, "We plan to update this voter report card after the upcoming election and will be interested in seeing whether or not you voted." Some say this feels threatening, but is this allowed? According to the Department of Justice, federal law prohibits intimidation, threats, and coercion throughout the voting process. These flyers don't tell people to vote or who to vote for. The information on them is public record, so the mailings are legal. So why do these organizations send out these mailers? In a statement from the Center for Voter Information, it reads, "Those who can vote and have previously participated often are inspired to vote when shown their record as it compares to those in their community. This is not the first election where these have been mailed out. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose issued a warning about similar flyers in 2022. LaRose says voters should know that voteohio.gov is the trusted source for all election information. So although these flyers may feel like a threat, they are considered legal. Let's also break down what is and what isn't public record. If you are registered to vote is public record. To see if you are registered as well as where your polling location is, you can go to the voter lookup page on the Secretary of State's website. You put in your first and last name along with what county you live in to find out. On each county's individual voter lookup, you can see what election someone has previously voted in. How you voted is not public record. No one can see how you voted or who you voted for. The only way someone can know how you voted is if you tell them. Megan Hartnett, WTOL 11.
If you're voting on Election Day, the rules for identification have changed. To cast your ballot in the Buckeye State, you now need one of these valid photo IDs: an Ohio driver's license, a State of Ohio ID card, a U.S. passport, or military ID. The League of Women Voters tells us voting is not the same as last time around.
Ohio has different voter ID laws than they had during the last presidential election in 2020. I think a lot of voters go in on Election Day and they're surprised by how many things are on the ballot.
Election officials say polling locations can change as well. So find out where you can vote on Election Day by going to the Ohio Secretary of State's website. For all things related to the election, WTOL 11 will send you our election guide right to your phone. This includes issues and candidates on the ballot to early in-person voting hours and more. All you have to do is text the word VOTE to 419-248-1100. John?
And the calendar says November, but Mother Nature says spring. How about some temperatures near record levels in the mid-70s, but it'll come with some rain chances. Your hour-by-hour forecast is next. Welcome back in. Hope you enjoyed that extra hour of sleep last night. Now that standard time has begun, sunset time at 5:25. It is dark outside, but you will enjoy some extra morning daylight. 7:09 the sunrise time, so it'll be a bit lighter waiting at the bus stop tomorrow. This is a live look through our downtown sky cam. We are at 55 degrees, a really nice and pleasant day, and it's only going to get warmer from here over the next 48 hours. A few spots south of the river still hanging on to the 60s, including Seneca County over towards Findlay, Ottawa, and Defiance. We're actually going to be in the 70s over the next few days as a warm front lifts on through. That warm front also could usher in a few light sprinkles and rain showers. Best chance for that west of I-75, but there's so little humidity in the air that I'm not expecting anything other than a couple raindrops. That warm front is currently draped across Indiana, and that is going to lift our temperatures up into the 70s both Monday and Tuesday as well. Forecast for tomorrow, 73 degrees. With the warm front, the breeze is going to return with gusts up to 30 miles an hour for your Monday. Temperatures are already going to be around 60 to 65 at daybreak, and the afternoon featuring a spring-like warm-up that'll send those temperatures climbing to the 70s. Election Day could be the warmest on record, with temperatures surging to the mid-70s. Areas south of Toledo could even creep up into the upper 70s. Heading to the polls Tuesday, it is going to be warm and windy if you do have to wait outside, 76 degrees, and the winds are going to pick up even further, gusting to 40 miles per hour. Planning out your day, if you're voting before work, we're already going to be at 65 by the lunch hour, 74, and then 73 by 5 p.m. Tuesday has trended drier, but there will be rain chances Tuesday night into Wednesday. Election Day forecast is going to challenge the current standing record of November 5th, 2022, set just a couple of years back. In terms of the winds, it is going to be a breezy and blustery day with the chance for 40-mile-per-hour winds, mainly during the early afternoon hours on Tuesday. So what about rain chances? As that warm front moves on through, a few isolated sprinkles will be possible late tonight. Much of the day Monday is going to be dry, albeit very breezy. Monday evening, again, a light sprinkle or two, but nothing that needs to cancel those plans. What about Tuesday? The wind is going to kick up even further with those 40-mile-an-hour gusts possible. I do expect a mainly dry day, but as a cold front moves through, this is going to be overnight into Wednesday morning. Rain chances will increase. Right along that front, could see some steadier showers that'll continue through daybreak Wednesday. Rain chances on Election Day are going to be primarily after sunset, and temperatures do drop off in the wake of that cold front, and the winds are also going to diminish. Both Wednesday and Thursday, bright and sunny days, and the winds are going to be much calmer. Temperatures still in the low to mid 60s. At this point in the season, our normal high is in the 50s, so even those days in the 60s are above average. Next weekend is likely to start off dry. However, showers are going to be possible Sunday into possibly Monday as well, and overall the 10-day forecast featuring above average temperatures.
When we return, Liberty Benton boys soccer in their first regional final since 2007. We have that story coming up next in sports. Sports brought to you by Jim White Honda. Welcome back. Liberty Benton boys soccer is in their first regional final since 2007, and on the line is their first trip to state in school history. Eagles taking on Worthington Christian here in Lima. For most of this game, it was a defensive back and forth until the 66th minute. The Warriors fire one past the LB goalie and take a 1-0 lead. Things looked bad for the Eagles at that point, but just 5 minutes later, ball is in front of the Worthington goal. Jairo Kalina fires it past the keeper, and we have an equalizer. Neither team would score again in regulation, so we head to overtime. And in OT, both teams trying to find the back of the net here. LB on the attack, fires a shot at the net, but it is stopped. Neither team would score in the 15-minute OT, so we head to double overtime. And more of the same. Cooper Cox with a deflection here to clear the ball. No score in double OT, so we head to penalty kicks. And in the first round, each team gets 5 kicks. Bryce Fox finds the back of the net here. After 5 rounds, both teams had 3 goals. So now we go to alternating kicks. And in that round, both teams scored 4 consecutive goals to start. But in the 5th round, LB's kick is blocked, so it comes down to this. A Worthington Christian goal would win it. The kick is up, and it's good. And that's how it would end. Liberty Benton's season comes to an end in the regional final after a 3-hour match on alternating kicks.
I think we had an unbelievable year, obviously. The best we've had in our program history, just with the amount of wins we've had, the production we've had from so many guys. It's a heartbreaking loss here today for us. I know the guys they're gutted for a loss like this, but we have to be happy about the season that we put together. Really proud of our effort today. I mean, it came within a whisker here or there of us putting one in there at the end of regulation, even in overtime. So really proud of our guys' effort all year.
We'll have more coming up on WTOL 11 News at 11. But for now, that'll do it for sports.